Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a variant launched in 2019. This is the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Dual Time with black dial. Again, we got the dual time in 2017. We got the black dials in 2018, but you couldn't get the dual time with a black dial until 2019, and that's what we have here in steel. So it's 41 millimeters in diameter. It's 13.3 millimeters thick. It's 49 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, from end link to end link. The total distance across the wrist, the rigid outcropping of the bracelet, that is. It's 56.9 millimeters. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see it wears quite nicely. It's a large watch, though. You really need to think of this as a 42 or even a 43 because it has a substantial feel. It feels more like a Royal Oak offshore than a Royal Oak. You can see on my wrist that the lugs do curve down a little bit, which mitigates against fit problems, but you're still not going to want to wear this on a wrist smaller than 15 centimeters circumference. That said, it's fairly thin. With a sloped case flank, it will fit underneath the dress cuff, and that includes shirt sleeves. The watch includes a beautifully finished, fully integrated bracelet. You can see that the bevel of the case continues uninterrupted down the flanks of the links. The outer faces are polished. The hoods of the links are satinated. The bracelet tapers down from the lug. You can see the recesses are mirror polished and that they have sharp creases, bright polished internally. Very impressive work there. And that the Maltese cross logo, which is the symbol of the manufacturer, appears repeatedly on this watch, on the dial, on the crown, on the bezel shape, as well as the repeating design of the center of the links. Note every single link on both sides of the bracelet is removable, and we even have an intermediate sized link in there for fine-tuning the fit, but you've got more. You've got 1.5 millimeters of pop-in, pop-out sliding micro adjustment on each side of the clasp for fine-tuning the fit. It is a double folding steel clasp. Closes and creates, what else? A Maltese cross. Twin trigger release. You press the triggers. You have to press both, and then it pops open. The case flank is polished. You can see that the lug hoods are satinated. We have a screw-down crown as well as a screw-down adjuster. The screw-down adjuster is used to let you quickly index the radial date pointer. We have a polished bezel that has satin-finished recesses, and it sits on an alternately polished and satinated plinth that adds some stacked depth to the dial face of the watch. The reverse face of the watch features a elaborately displayed Vacheron caliber 5110. Now this is interesting because prior to the third generation overseas, we never got an in-house caliber in an overseas, and we never got a display case back. Now we have both. The movement's properly sized for this case back, and you can see the Geneva hallmark on both the movement and the case, as since 2012, roughly halfway through the year, the Geneva hallmark has been a standard for the full watch, not just the movement. Now it winds on ceramic bearings for high efficiency. It energizes a 60-hour power reserve supplied by twin mainspring barrels, which give you a very even torque release, so you don't get surges and major drop-offs of balance amplitude as the watch winds and unwinds. The rotor is hand-finished, 22-karat gold, not 21, not 18, God help us, not rose-plated tungsten. You'll note it's a compass rose design. It has no fewer than 4 different finishes. All this beats away at 4 hertz. Pivots on 37 joules. It is adjusted in the chronometer and high horology standard of 5 positions. The Côte de Genève on the bridges are beautifully ridged and laid down by a abrasive wheel. We have solarization on the barrels. We have mirrored anglage on the edge of the bridges, beautifully executed. We have black polished screw heads with chamfered slots in circumference. And as you can see, both the screw and jewel sinks have been internally polished, which is an impressive piece of attention to detail. The cap to the regulator has been black polished. The stud holder has been satinated. We have engine turning on the base plate, and we have satination on all the wheels of the train, so it is quite nicely decorated. There's a soft iron ring around the movement that gives the watch 25,000 ampere per meter anti-magnetism, which is impressive because the ISO standard for an anti-magnetic watch is only 4,800 ampere per meter, and then all this is water resistant down to 150 meters. Take note, right under my finger, you can see that 2 bevels meet at a point. Those sharp outward points where bevels meet are just as difficult to finish as interior angles. Now on the dial side, you can see we've got a 12-hour hand for your second time zone, an AM/PM indicator that lets you know whether you're looking at day or night when you reference that time zone. We've got this radial style date, and then we have the ability to change the position of the local hour hand independently. Now, when I move everything in sync, you can see that we have two 12-hour hands. So you know whether this is looking, for example, at 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. because the little red index is pointed at p.m. Now watch as it transitions across, you can see the index now moves to a.m. So we are looking at now 1:15 a.m. in the reference time. And of course, I always have the ability to independently move that local hour hand as I travel the globe. One feature the watch does not have, and it's really one of the only features it doesn't have, is hacking seconds. It is a wonderfully handsome watch with white gold hands and indices, and absolutely no shortage of luminescence. This is a sports watch par excellence, immaculately finished inside and out. If anything, it's underrated. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details, and realize you're really getting 3 watches in one. With the quick release system built into the bracelet, you have the ability to use either of the accessory straps that come with the watch. You get a black leather strap with a steel clasp. You get a black rubber strap, and again, you get that separate clasp to use with the straps. This watch is chock-a-block with features. Again, reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.